Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Izzy, and today we are going to be doing a speed build of Stu Macher's house from Scream 1. If this is being posted sometime around when I recorded it, then Scream 7 just came out. And my fiance and I are doing a Scream marathon. We're watching every single Scream to then watch Scream 7. Right now we're on Scream 5 is the next one we have to watch. So we finished all of the originals. I mean, I guess, do you consider 4 an original? I don't know. But we finished all the originals, and I decided I'm going to build Stu Macher's house from the very first Scream, very iconic house. I've seen other people have done this before, like when I was kind of researching the house to build it. I saw a lot of like building Stu Macher's house in The Sims. I tried not to watch any of the videos because I wanted it to be not copying anybody else's or like just trying to do it on my own kind of thing. So I can't promise this is going to be perfect. It's actually really difficult to find a layout of this house on Google. I had to watch like YouTube videos of people who've toured the house afterwards, like recently, and posted it on YouTube. And obviously they've changed the house a little bit. It's not exactly the same as it was in Scream. So I'm doing my best. There's a point where I build the kitchen. I have to go back and change some things because I went back and watched movie clips and I was like, oh my God, I'm building the new version of the house. I'm not building the original. And we're trying to stick with what it looked like in the movie. Okay. So here I've built kind of the base. Those are chimneys. Just if you're wondering what those little antennas are, they're going to be chimneys because this house actually has like 4 chimneys for some reason. And I decided to only do 2. I do take some creative license here, okay? Because 4 chimneys is a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, it has 4 chimneys. That's what those are going to be. It also has a lot of different like levels going on. And I definitely didn't get those correct. Like this side right here that I'm working on, there is an attic, which I didn't include. Sue me. This was me originally going to include the attic. I end up taking it off because it doesn't really look right when you look at the picture of the house. I will include, once I start doing the windows, I will include a photo of what the house looks like so you can see and compare, as well as the back. I was able to find a photo of the back of the house on some like random lady's Reddit thread from like 10 years ago. So I had to do some digging. I also found a layout of this house that some random person like sketched on Reddit. I don't know that one was super accurate, so I had to go back and watch all those like walkthrough videos. But we persist, ladies and gentlemen. We get there eventually. So here I'm starting to do windows. Okay, here's the picture of the front of the house. It has a lot of windows. It's a very window house. I realized after I built them that tiny window I just placed at the top of that roof there is actually a vent in real life. But I did a window. Sue me again. Like I said, it's not perfect. I thought at first that these windows were like shuttered, but they're not. So we changed that. And then there's this little like space in between these windows. I don't know what it is. It's a wall. And in this photo, it has Ghostface on it. Obviously Ghostface is not there in the movie, so I was like, oh, should I make it stick out a little bit? That's what I'm doing here. I end up scrapping that. I don't know. I left it blank because I think it's just like a blank wall in the original. I don't know what it is. Someone let me know. Why is that on this house? I'm not sure. So anyways, continuing with windows, we're doing the porch. I do end up realizing eventually that this part of the porch sticks out. I have to fix this part like 4 times. The layout of this house is so weird. It's so weird. Who built this house? I want to know. Oh, I'm frozen. I'm probably looking at the like reference photos being like, what the hell? What am I doing? So the door has 2 windows, so I chose this door. Wow. Good God. Let me try again. The door has 2 windows, so I chose this door because it has 2 windows. And then we're going to go in with the railing, and there's some pillars. I originally put brown pillars. I don't know what picture I was friggin' looking at because they are beige. I will make them beige eventually. And I did think that the patio was brick. Then I ended up finding a clip from the movie. It is wood. So all in due time, my friends, we will get there. And then for the sides of the house, that is really hard to find pictures of, especially like the outer sides of the house. So I just placed some random windows at first. Oh, this is when I realized that this part sticks out, so we're fixing that. I did place random windows at first, and then once I go through and actually decorate the house and I can see inside is when I start fixing the windows to be a little more accurate. So here I'm just kind of, this is where that creative license takes over a little bit. Again, I'm just kind of faking it till we making it, you know. Okay, the front, there is pictures of the front. Obviously you can't see it in this reference photo, but I am looking at a picture of the front. You're not. Ah. Okay. That was me getting rid of the attic. Rest in peace, the attic. This house is huge. And I'm kind of glad that I did get rid of the attic because I got about 3/4 of the way through decorating this and I wanted to leave. Like, I wanted to never play Sims again. I was so done. I get really lazy at the end, actually. Like, decorating the rooms that aren't really in the movie, the rooms that, like, you don't see. Yeah, like, Sydney's dad's bedroom. Who cares? You know what I mean? So I do get a little bit lazy, like, decorating that, and I just kind of threw together, like, a bedroom, because at that point of this build, I was, like, 4 hours in. And my eyeballs hurt because I've been like staring at my PC for so long. So I'm sorry if Sydney's dad's bedroom is not up to par, but he's like the least important character in this entire series, so it's fine. Also, there is a room in this house that does exist in real life and in like the walkthroughs that you will watch online, but it actually does not exist in the movie. They fully covered up the door with like, I don't know, sheets, a fake wall or something. I'm not sure. So that was also really confusing because what do you mean there's a room that doesn't actually exist? That's, I guess, the problem with making a fake movie house. Oh, this is where I finally start doing the porch and I do it wrong because it's not brick. Past Izzy, it's not brick, it's wood. I wish I could like yell at myself through this video. It's not brick! It's not brick! It's wood! She can't hear me. God damn it. Anyways, I'm making it brick. What can you do? I'll come back eventually and fix it. Did I fix the pillars at least? Yeah, okay. This is me putting in beige pillars because it is indeed yellow, beige, I guess. Beige. We'll go with beige. And they sit kind of close like that. I actually really like the design of this where they're not like at the end of the porch on each side. They're like close together. Love that. And then I was looking for, so the windows on this house have like little green triangles, but only on the very front of the house. I couldn't remember where those green triangles were, so I had to check everywhere. I finally found them. They're a little bit neon green, more so than it is in real life, but we gotta do what we gotta do. And then I kind of realized that there is like, it's yellow siding, sort of yellow beige siding, but they have these like green, what are they called? Like end caps? Like the corners of the siding are green. Does that make sense? Probably not. The roof is also green. This house is very green. So I'm going to put in a yellow siding and then I'm going to go in with green pillars, which I had to go through every single pillar that exists on the sim to find one that was probably the right color green. Because who wants a green pillar on their house? Only Stu Macher, I guess, or whoever owns this house in real life now. But there we go, we have some siding, and then here's me looking at every single, like I think I genuinely went through every single pillar just to find the right one. And I can't remember which one I landed on. I think maybe one from Cottage Living pack, because I mean the green is kind of like a cottage core color, if you will. So it makes sense that it ended up being that one. Is it? Or did I use a vampire one? Oh, I'm a dirty, dirty liar again. I used a vampire one. Oh, wow. I guess green could be a vampire-y color too. Not what I would have thought. But that's me creating like those green accents on this house. Yeah. Very nice. We're gonna move to the back of the house here soon, so I will put up a photo of what the back looks like. Bing! There it is! This is the one off of some random lady's Reddit, and you can literally see the top. If you look really closely, you can see the top of her head at the bottom of that photo that I cropped her out. I'm sorry, lady. I just didn't think you'd want to be in my video. Okay, here I'm doing the chimneys, and I kind of had to improvise because they're green, but they have these like red pipes sticking out, so I put 4 green chimneys around a red chimney. And you know what? I'm really happy with it. It actually kind of looks like what it looks like in real life. So sometimes you just got to make some stuff up. Here, wow, I did the back of that fast. I wasn't even paying attention. We already have windows. Good golly. I'm speedy. Okay, I think this is getting close to the end of the first day of me working on this, because I know this this clip has been 11 minutes long, but this was probably like 2 hours. I feel like I'm really slow at building. I go back. I also will sit there. I've had to cut out a lot of spots where, like this spot right here, where I'll just sit there and like, I don't know, I'm looking at the reference photo or something. I will analyze. Oh, there's a weather vane on top of this. I don't have a weather vane, so I use the vampire pack roof decoration, I don't know what it's called, to kind of be in place of that weather vane. Honestly, one of my favorite items to use on my houses is that vampire pack roof decoration. Okay, here we are. We're doing some landscaping. This was one of those things, again, where it was different in real life than it was in the movie. So the one that I am currently putting down here that you can see, this is real life. It comes out and the fountain is right in front of the door. I don't know how they changed this, because you'd have to change like all the plumbing. But when you watch the movie, and this is me realizing, when you watch the movie, it is different. And the fountain is actually to the left, if you're looking at it from this perspective. So we had to move that over, and there's some benches. When you go back and watch like the party scene where they're all at Stu's house, the path does go straight through and the fountain is to the left. I had a real hard time trying to make this a circle. Why is this so difficult? It doesn't end up ever being a circle. We just had to leave it. But yes, the fountain is to the end. There is some kind of really weird landscaping. The back of this house just goes off into like land. Like there's not any streets or anything behind it like there are here where we're dealing with. I think this is Brindleton Bay that I'm building in, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Brindleton Bay, which is from the cat and dog pack. But the fence, which also doesn't exist in real life. Do you see how confusing this was to build? The fence that exists in the movie is only on the front of the property. So I know if you're looking at this and you're like, why did you just stop the fence on the corners? Because that's how it is. I don't know what that fence is protecting, but it literally stops right there in the movie. And then there's a lot of bushes because, like I said, it backs onto just like land property. And it's really overgrown in the movie. So I kind of do my best to like bridge the gap between where that fence ends and where it just becomes bushes and make it look not stupid. But you know, I can only do, I'm just one person. I can only do so much here. But yeah, like this whole thing is just plants on plants on plants. It's surrounded. Same with the fountain. It kind of goes all the way around. It's the most like landscaping I've ever had to do. Most plants I've ever had to place. It's a little bit, and it's just like grass and like overgrown bushes. It's not anything like manicured or nice, really. That door there leads to the garage eventually, which was also really confusing. I think the garage that they filmed in was not at this house, because when I was looking for photos of where the garage exists in this house, I could not find a garage. I could not. Where's the garage? And they have whole scenes where they like, where Stu says, I'll be right back. When Randy's like, never say I'll be right back because you'll never be right back. And I'm pretty sure he's going to the garage to grab another beer. Or am I mixing up Scream 1 and Scream 2? Anyway, whatever. Doesn't really matter. That's where I took some creative liberty, is in that like sticky outy part of the house at the front there, because I think it's supposed to be the garage. I know there's supposed to be an attic above it, but that doesn't exist. I just made it a laundry room and a garage because I could not find the room right before the garage. I could not find in any inch of the internet what that room was. I have no idea. So in my world, it's a laundry room because that was like the one thing missing from this house. Also, this house has so many living rooms, so many seating areas. You would think that all Stu's family does is just sit. They just sit. I don't know. Anyways, here I'm doing an outline of the house, very boring, just to kind of make it look a little more realistic. I went around all of the paths too. It makes them pop, in my opinion. And I did a little bit of a triangle in front of the stairs in the back there. I think it kind of makes it look like people are like stepping down and wearing down that grass, if you know what I mean. I did make my levels the medium size, so I had to fix my pillars. This is officially day 2, my friends, and we are decorating the inside. This house has like a open foyer kind of setting. So you can, like, if you were to walk in, you can see the second floor, and by the stairs is like open up to the second floor. Does that make sense? And there's like railings and a walkway up above. The only way that I have found to do this properly is to use this tiny little fence there and trace around and go in front of your stairs, create the entire walkway, and then it will delete only the floor that you want to delete. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you use anything else, it kind of gets in the way. Like, you have to have that outline, unfortunately, over top of your stairs, or else it won't work. And you can delete the one, I believe, in front of the stairs, and it won't be a problem. Maybe I might be lying to you, but I decided to make it brown because a lot of this house is obviously the first movie, I think, came out in 1996 or 1997. So it is very 90s. And then like very kind of late 90s, almost 2000s, right? The design, everything's wood, everything's brown. Everything is brown. So here we're doing the foyer. That's our next project. You can kind of see that it has that like open hole. I do need to fix up here. It's not exactly right, but we will get to that eventually. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I added the same railing that I'm adding onto the stairs, so it's all matching. And then we're gonna go ahead and decorate the foyer. This is the only part that I think maybe isn't movie accurate that I decorated. Everything else does end up becoming pretty movie accurate. The foyer, I did kind of go based off of the photos of like recent walkthroughs of this house. So, but I don't think that's like it's a huge deal. I mean, the very iconic parts of this house are obviously the kitchen. That is where Stu and Billy have their, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Confrontation. Stu and Billy have their confrontation with Sidney Prescott, obviously, in that kitchen. And we get some of my favorite movie lines, I think, ever come from that scene. And we will get there eventually. And trust me, I will be quoting the entire thing once we start building that kitchen, because I love that scene. And then we obviously have the TV room that comes off of the kitchen, and that is where Randy gives us our rules to survive a horror movie. We will get there too. This little alcove that you can see on the left hand side there with the chair in it, I realized later that it is actually part of the kitchen. And this foyer is smaller than what I thought. I will fix that eventually. How many times? Take a shot every time I will say I will fix that eventually, because This has been one of the most like, I mean, usually when I'm building stuff, it's coming from my imagination, or I'm taking like inspiration from something, but I'm not like directly copying something. So this has been really difficult for me, and not just kind of doing what I wanted to do and actually going back and making it accurate. This, I had a hard time seeing what was over in this corner, and I thought it was like a console sort of thing. So I put it in a console. I realized it's a vanity for some reason in the foyer. I don't know. I don't live here. It's not my house. Okay. I don't know. There's also another chair there, which I will add. But yeah, it's like a vanity with a bunch of picture frames on it. Odd choice, but that's okay. Whatever. Do whatever you want. I'm going to add another rug in here as well. And I'm actually going to change the rug that I'm using entirely because something just didn't feel right. I wish we had more options for rugs. I also wish, listen, Sims developers, if you're listening to this video, which you aren't, but if you, for some reason you are, give us different sizing of rugs. And I don't mean like, obviously you can change the size of the rug if you, use like the brackets on your keyboard, and I do that a lot of the time is how I change rugs, but sometimes it makes it way too big, and it's like it doesn't even fit in your room, or it makes it way too tiny and it looks stupid. So Sims developers, you know what I would love? Give us every single rug in like small, medium, large, and you can choose what size you want to do it. English is hard. What size you want to do it? You know what I mean? Give us 3 options. That would make my life so... I would be so happy. Just give a girl what she wants. This is probably me looking at a photo and contemplating my life because I realized that that alcove is part of the kitchen. And at the beginning, I'm like, F it. we gotta keep going. But I do change it eventually after I try to figure out this icon kitchen, which is this room right here that we're just staring at, that I'm doing nothing to. Hello? Earth to Izzy. Earth to Izzy. Are you there? Izzy. Hello? Oh my god. She's dead. Oh my god, she's dead. She's been stabbed. Ghostface got her in the kitchen right here. What are we gonna do? Oh my god. Oh my god. So, thank you guys. That concludes my audition for Scream 8. If you think I did good, send this to your casting director friends. Okay. This is the one circular window in this entire house. Ask me why? I don't know. It kind of looks weird from the outside. But there is literally one circular window in this entire house, and it is in this kitchen. And then we obviously have the white countertops. The countertops in Scream have like checkers on top, checkered white on top, and I couldn't really find one that did it justice, so we are using like a marble one, whatever. And in the house, the stove sits in front of this like just protruding wall, which I did there. And I tried to make it work. It just looked bad. I hate when you can like, you're trying to make a wall that comes out and then you can see inside of it like it's a tiny little room. I wish there was a way to do that differently, but there isn't. So I'm gonna fiddle around with this for a while. I do end up changing that. I also realized that I'm building my wall way too deep into what is going to be the laundry room, and I actually have to end up moving the entire thing. Here I go. This is me moving the entire thing. To be a little more accurate to where, because the door that comes in from the foyer into the kitchen hits about where this like island part comes out that they sit at. So I am still a little bit off, but it's okay. And this is when I was like, I gotta try a couple different things to make this like protruding wall work, and then I just gave up because it's just never gonna happen. It's just not gonna work, okay? You just have to accept it. See, I'm still trying. Just give up. I do. I think this is where I eventually give up. They have a really big vent also. And then they have like wallpaper behind, not wallpaper, what's it called? Wow, I'm really just losing all of my words today. A backsplash. Thank you. There's a backsplash behind this stove, and it's like floral. And I was trying to figure out if there was a way that I could do it that didn't look bad, but there wasn't anything where that top kind of crown molding matched up with the one that I have already. So I just gave up on that idea as well. I also looked and to see if there was any wall decorations that could kind of look like a backsplash, but there really isn't. So that's another thing we can add to the list. I want different rug sizes, and I want somehow to make backsplashes that actually look good and maybe don't go all the way up the wall, like just stop at the cabinets. That would be sick. Sims backsplashes? Put me on the freaking development team, man. Coach, put me in. I'm so good. I have all these ideas that need to come to fruition. What are we doing here? Oh, this is me realizing that my levels are all messed up. Should I put stairs? No, you shouldn't. Scrap the stairs, girlfriend. Just raise your floor. She gets there eventually. Okay, so in this corner, I put a cabinet. This is not a cabinet. It's like a cabinet desk that you can sit at. And this is where the iconic scene with Stu, where they're kind of having a breakdown and Billy hits him with the phone and he goes, "You hit me with the fucking phone, dick." Sorry, I'm swearing, but it's iconic. I have to. And then the phone rings and he picks it up. And Sydney says, "What's your motive?" And he goes, "Peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive." And then he says, "My mom and dad are gonna kill me." Or, "My mom and dad are gonna be so upset." Or something like that. Anyways, I love that scene. I am eventually gonna put a desk here. And I looked to see if they had a landline. And I know like every sim has a cell phone, but why is there no option to put a landline phone in if I'm trying to recreate a house from 1997? Okay, so that's really unfortunate. I kind of just had to decorate. I would have loved to put a phone there. I think it just really would have tied it together. We just all have to use our imagination and pretend that there is a phone there. Is there a pack that has landline phones? I actually don't know. I don't have all the packs because I'm not rich. Okay. Jesus, those things are like $40 each. Who do you think I am? I have like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 packs. That's already an egregious amount of money that I've spent on this game. Is there a pack that has landline phones? Because I will literally buy it just to put a freaking phone in this house. That's how iconic it is. That's how needed a phone is in this kitchen. I mean, it's literally the entire like plot of the movie. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? What's your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie? I can't do. What's your favorite scary movie? Okay, I need to stop. My fiance all the time will go, "Isabel." Especially right after we watch the movie, or if it's nighttime and like the closet's open, and he'll be like, "Oh, can you close the closet before we go to bed?" And I'll walk to go close the closet, and as soon as I get to the closet door, he goes, "Isabel." Obviously, that's my full name. Izzy is not my full name. My full name is Isabel. But it freaks me out. And then I try to do it back to him, and I sound like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" I sound like Yoda. It's not scary because I can't do it properly. I'm not even doing his Isabel justice because it's actually kind of freaky when he does it. I feel like Ghostface is about to come out. Oh, see, here I finally put a desk there. So this is a little more accurate. And then I'm looking for a phone. The only thing comes up is a phone booth. Like I'm about to put that on my table. Really disappointing. I was quite upset and I just kept looking. Anyway, so we had to do some kind of random decorations. And then I realized that there is a door on the other side of that kitchen, the fridge, because there is a scene where Billy does walk through it. I don't really know exactly what it leads to, if it's just the foyer or if it's something else. In my version, it just leads back out to the foyer. It is what it is. I'm looking for a calendar because they have a calendar up. The only one I could find was from the cat and dog pack with a giant cat on it. So that's the one we had to use. This is me going back and realizing, yes, that alcove is indeed where our like kitchen kind of breakfast eating area is. It's not in the foyer. So I'm doing a little bit of remodeling. We got to move everything over a bit, and then I'm going to add that kind of kitchen table thing that we put in over. And if you noticed, there is another room that is already decorated, and it is the dining room. And there's a reason, and you're like, why didn't you show that? Because that room is not actually a dining room. And you will see in a moment here, all of that is going to be deleted because I realized that in real life, yes, that is the dining room. In the movie, that is the TV room where they are watching a scary movie and Randy gives his rules. So I had to redo that. Because that is, we can't just be making that a dining room. That's so boring. I was wondering too, I was like, where is that movie room when I was making the dining room? It's that room. It is that room. There is no dining room in Stu's house in the movie, I don't think. So here's me going in and deleting it all as I realized I was being dumb. I'm just gonna leave the curtains, I think. We're gonna do a tiny baby little TV because this TV looks exactly the same. And I'm putting a camera there because if you remember, Gail goes into that house and during like the party and places a camera so she can watch in the news truck. So we're putting a little TV and a tiny camera up there. And then we need the part where they are all sitting on their red couch and their red chairs. And Randy gives them the 3 rules to survive a horror movie, which is 1, you must be a virgin. You cannot have sex. Virgins don't die. Number 2, you don't drink and you don't do drugs while they're all drinking and presumably doing drugs. And number 3, say it with me, never say, I will be right back. Because you will not, in fact, be right back. And that's how you survive. And I'm pretty sure in that scene they do all of those things. Well, I mean, they don't have sex in that scene. That would be kind of weird. Okay. Besides the point. Good golly. And then I wanted to put like beer bottles and a thing of popcorn on the table because that's also what they have on the table, and neither of those things exist, at least not in the packs that I have. So we had to improvise, and I just wanted to make this coffee table as cluttered as possible because in this scene, the house is just like a pigsty. Obviously, they've just had a party and they're all drunk and laying on the couch together. So I was just putting like everything I could find on this table. That fruit bowl is my stand-in for a bowl of popcorn. In this version of Scream, they are healthy. They eat fruit instead of popcorn. Not that popcorn's bad for you, but... And then I'm adding 2 rugs together to kind of make it wide enough. That's just the way it is. And then I don't really know. I didn't want to go back and find a scene where you could see that second part of the room, so I didn't. I just put up a picture frame and called it a day. This, we're doing the closet underneath the stairs. This is a part where, spoiler alert, I guess I've been spoiling it this whole time, but at the end where Billy is walking around trying to find Sydney, she's in the closet, she's dressed as Ghostface, and she comes out and stabs him with an umbrella. This is that closet. There's no umbrellas in The Sims, so that was really unfortunate. I wanted to put an umbrella in there, but there isn't. So we just made it a closet with clothes and a dresser and a coat rack in there. But that's what that is. And then where are we going from here? You tell me, Izzy. I don't know. Oh, baby, we're going upstairs. Okay. We gotta figure out this walkway thing. So there's walkway on all sides, so I'm gonna just kind of add in a little hallway here so that makes sense. This was the hardest fart. The hardest fart? Oh my god. I'm leaving that in. Okay, this was the hardest part. That was me changing the porch to wood, as you can see. Please, I've been talking for 35 minutes now. Okay, this was the hardest part, good Lord, to find the layout of this and get it correct. I had to watch a lot of YouTube walkthroughs to figure this out, and I still might have gotten it wrong. But when you go up the stairs, directly to your left is Sydney's bedroom. We know this. There's a lot of people running in and out of Sydney's bedroom. And she kind of has like this canopy bed, but none of them are right. So I ended up putting those like sparkly drapey lights over it to create the vibe of the canopy bed. I was gonna put in that island living canopy bed, but it's a little too island-y for the vibe. It's not giving us that like 1997 vibe to it. So I feel like a lot of the stuff in Sims though, it's either like very modern or like 1950s, you know? It's hard to create something that looks 1990s-ish, so I'm doing my best here, but this is kind of as accurate as I can make it. I realized that this room isn't actually wide enough. There is, at the end of her bed, there's a vanity. We are skipping over that because I obviously didn't make enough room to create a vanity. I'm putting the vanity over here. Give me a break, people. Okay. Okay. Good God. And then in the corner of her room over here, it's hard to see. I tried my best again, but there's like a little seating area with a couch and chairs. And I think like a console table. So that's what I did. And I put a little rug in. We're just going to go with it and hope that that's kind of actually what it looked like. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. It's difficult. I'll put a little plant in. Why not? And then I could see that the drapes on the windows were beige. So that's why we're doing that. And this is a bathroom. And all I know about this bathroom, I don't know if it was in the movie, but in real life, it's blue. It has a standing blue tub. So that's what we're doing here. We're putting in that standing blue tub. I couldn't really find like the right corner of this bathroom. So other than the blue walls and standing blue tub, a lot of this bathroom is just me making it up. So sorry. But we're going with that blue vibe and put some counters in because this bathroom is actually pretty big, just to fill up some space. Put some accessories in, make it look like a bathroom. I thought, hey, it was 1997. They'd probably have an ironing board on the wall. Because has anyone used an ironing board after the year like 2010? I don't think so. My family used to have an ironing board, I think, in our like laundry room. But then I remember at a certain point growing up, my mom just started using like, she would just put a towel down on the counter and iron on the towel. And that's basically how I learned to iron growing up. And then there came a point where everyone just stopped ironing. What happened to ironing? Did we all just stop like kind of giving a crap? Like no one cares if they have wrinkly clothes anymore? Because I feel like my parents used to iron a lot of stuff. And in the last couple of years that I was like living at their house, I really didn't see them ironing anything. And then why did we give up on the ironing board altogether and start using a towel? Did anyone else's family just iron on a towel on a counter instead of bringing out the whole ironing board? Maybe that was just me. And then I'm thinking, where did the ironing board go? Did we sell it? Did we just throw it away? Did it break? Probably broke. I don't know. Anyways, this is the part of the house that has the room that exists in real life but doesn't exist in the movie. So that room on the end there, I'm actually not going to decorate it at all because I don't know what's in it because it doesn't exist in the movie. So for all intents and purposes, it's not there in my brain. This is, we can assume Sydney's dad's room. I'm making it very like brown and boring. I don't know why I went for that vibe, but like I was talking about earlier, this is the point where I've been building for like almost 4 hours now. And I was just so tired. I just like I did not want to do it anymore. This room, there is actually some pictures of, it's another little seating area with a fireplace in it. So we're kind of doing that. I couldn't get the couch right. Those ones look too modern, so we're putting in this. Again, that hard line between like modern and like 1840s. I don't know. I'm trying. And then I couldn't find pictures of the other half of this room, so we just had to improvise. I started putting pictures on the wall, and I decided let's just double the couch and maybe put a bookshelf in. What else would be in this room? I don't know, because there's infinite seating areas in this room, in this house, I mean. And then, again, that room we're leaving empty because it does not actually exist. And then I went downstairs and I went, oh my God, I still have to do the entire garage and that side of the house, the left side of the house. This is me contemplating my life choices and asking, why is this house so big? This was, again, back in like 1997. My fiance and I were talking about this when we were watching Scream 1 back, and we were like, wow, they live in a mansion. In like, I'm pretty sure this movie was set in California, I think. But we're like, wow, they live in a mansion. And we were thinking about it and we were like, well, it was the 90s, so like Stu's parents were probably like high school teachers, and this is the house they afforded in California in the 90s. Here, this is kind of the only like mod I'm using that's not like a base game. I used Twisted Mexie's vehicles mod to put a car in the garage. I know there's also another mod out there that creates like usable cars. I don't use that one because if you watch my other video, you know I don't really play The Sims. Like all I do is build. So this mod is good enough for me. It does the job. It spits out like 7 cars and then you can kind of decide like what car you want to use. And I don't need my cars to be usable, but if you know, if that's you, I know there is a usable car mod. I can't remember who makes it. I know this non-usable, like just the decoration cars by Twisted Mexie. That's where I got this from. And then you download that mod. You go into the little cheat bar, which is Shift Control C, and you type in tm.vehicles, and then you either put like cars, trucks, boats, whatever you want. It'll spit out like 7 of those. So that's how you use that mod if you are interested in downloading it. And like I said before, I'm making this a laundry room because I didn't really know what was actually there. I realized there was a bunch of cars still in the house because, like I said, it spits out just like 7 for you to choose from. So then I put a little driveway. I don't actually know if this garage exists, like I was saying earlier, because I'm not quite sure if it does, but that was a little creative. No, what am I trying to say? A little... I don't know. I've literally been talking for 43 minutes. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I don't know English anymore. Okay, we're finally on the last section of this house, and I realized that I put 2 chimneys on this house, and we only have 1 fireplace so far. So we might as well put in another fireplace. This room, the one I was looking at, I do believe is what it currently looks like. I couldn't find I don't know if this side of the house is actually like in the movie at all. So I'm just doing what I could find online. There is a fireplace. There's a bunch of chairs and couches that kind of look like this, so that's what we're going with. And then I had to try some things out for this window because nothing fit on that middle window. And I ended up going like this. Does this look stupid? I feel like it didn't. I feel like it kind of looked interesting, but someone's probably gonna be like, that looked dumb. That looked dumb. And we're going in with the statue, nice little rug, just kind of putting this all together. And then in this corner, what did I end up doing there? Oh, I just left it blank. Like I said, I didn't want to be here anymore. And then, of course, I was missing one thing, people. One very important item. Knives. Couldn't believe I didn't put them in the kitchen, so we had to go back and add some knives. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. If you want to find this house under my gallery, it's Stu Macher's Scream House. My gallery is Izzy MT. I'll put it on the screen here. And please enjoy the final product of Stu Macher's house from Scream 1. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in this video. I sincerely love you. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.